We are recording I think we could just go ahead and get started. AG, Karen, Traveler. I don't think I said hi to you guys individually yet. So welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I think last time we did a lot of Fusion talk, or at least it was a lot of animation talk. So if there's still Fusion questions, I'd be happy to do that. What might be better this go round is to do some, we could do some video reviews, we could do some channel reviews, or if there's just really anything like content related. Is there a better word for content? That's like one of my least favorite words to use is content. I feel like this word just gets used and abused across the internet. But yeah, if anybody, I guess just I open it up for anybody who has questions on how do I do this in DaVinci? Is this a good thing to do? Do you think this worked well in my video? How do I get in contact with Camera Tim? Like any of those kind of questions. Hello, Sleevesy. You missed half last week? No. I'm trying to, I think we did talk mostly like, we did some text animation talk. What was the first part of office hours last week? I'm trying to remember what we had discussed. Can confirm was bought out for a month. Oh, I still haven't seen Tim's little. Why did I throw in little? Dude, that's so toxic of me. I was going to say Tim's little green screen video. That's insane. Wow. That boy B ran and is swapped up. Man, I've just been in a pissy mood the last couple of weeks. I'll say that's how I've just been looking for a fight. If somebody wants to like throw fisticuffs with me, I'm super down for that today too. Like if we just want to get into an argument about, like if we could spend the whole time talking After Effects versus DaVinci today, and I'd be so down. So down. Oh, that's right, A-Ball. Good memory. We did cutting on motion. Yeah, that was actually a good discussion, too. You guys missed it. You guys missed out. Oh, that's right. The sound library. Yup. We talked sound library as well. I've been seeing a lot of the tobacco sounds, Jazz. It sounds good, but worth it for most matters. You tell me. Oh, Traveler, I see you. Can you check my video? It's my first long form edit on Resolve. It's like 2 minutes. Yeah, sure. Do you have a link or some way to share it? AG, I'm not sure 100% what you were referring to. Is it like a particular style of song that you're talking about? Thought you went and fought some kids. I gotta like, I was gonna say I should go to my local park and get into some fight with some kids, but I feel like jokes like that aren't cool anymore in 2025 after the diddler. You know, like how people would always ask, like, how many kids do you, like fourth graders, do you think you could take in a fight? I don't know if we can make those jokes anymore. Some coloring stuff. Ooh, okay. Coloring might be tricky for me to talk through. Tim could probably speak to that. If you guys did miss it, so yeah, one of the things we did do, and if you're looking for a better resource, we did do a massive color page stream. Did a couple weeks ago. So there's a condensed version here, and then if you go to the live page, there's a full 3-hour stream. Oh, I see you, Traveler. I see you. Let me pull up that link. Pull me closer. This morning, guys, you guys heard this song, I Run? If you're on TikTok, you have. I accidentally hit play. I added it to my like songs, but it didn't start playing my like song. So for like my drive over to work today, it was just 10 minutes of this over and over. Over and over. Anyways. I was asking for sound library. Oh, sound. I got you. I'm so sorry, AG. No, you probably worded that just fine. I'm just not the smartest individual. Yes, we could talk sound libraries and resources. We could definitely do that. I was actually just talking to in quick help. I can show something. Yes, you can. Do you? Or how about let's do this. Let's talk Traveler's video, and then we could do Tim and color for a little bit, and then we could talk like sound libraries. Oh, it was Karen. It's called I Run by Haven. If you want, for the entire office hours, we could just put this in the background. I'd be super down with doing that. You guys can't see me, but I'm bobbing my head right now. My goal by the end of office hours is to have this song stuck in everybody's head. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get started. Let's get down to business. So first on the, okay, here we go. We'll do Traveler's video, coloring with Tim, special edition, and then we'll talk sound for AG. No, we're not going to defeat the Huns. We're going to I run. All right, let me go ahead and give the video a quick download. I should have been doing that. Man, I should have been downloading it while I was procrastinating. Unreal. Unreal. I run. I can talk sound. Ooh, yeah. You guys, I feel like people forget that this is not just Brandon sits up here and talks for 2 hours time. If you guys want to contribute to the conversation, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. I would love for people to come talk about things that they find interesting or good. All right. So, Traveler, anything we should know about this video? I saw you say that this is one of your first like longer videos. Is it for YouTube? Are you practicing? Is it for somebody? Practice. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and give it a watch. I'm good. I guess we're going to it blind. Cool.
So living frugal is a concept where you are basically living below your means, or basically cheap. People might not want to call it cheap, but I call it cheap because this is how I was brought up. My dad would always, find the best way to save money, and I would call it cheap. But later I got older and older.
Okay, so we will continue to play the video all the way throughout, but just first impressions, I think this looks great. I think it's totally fine. Something that I would recommend is when you're doing talking head portions, I don't know if this is bad advice or not. So if somebody else has better opinions, let me know. I think you should set the camera down. We're not traveling anywhere. I would set the camera down and let us focus on you and what you're saying. For the most part, and like again, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to like production, camera work, and a lot of those things. But from my understanding, for the most part, a lot of your shots, the camera should be stationary unless you're filming something with action, or you're following something as it moves from place to B, or from places A to B. I would hold the camera still. So for me, when like we cut to the camera shot here, that's the only thing I can focus on, is like how much things are moving. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I would just, for the future. Don't mind my English. Traveler, do you know what frame rate you edited in? Do you remember? Was it 60, 30, 60? Okay. I think in the future, if you're going to be working with handheld footage, camera footage, and mixed media, I'd probably recommend editing in either 30 or 24 FPS. These animations, when you do them on a 60 FPS timeline, are going to feel like pretty hyper smooth. It's a little jarring. I think the animation itself, though, is great, man. I love that you had it masked out and slides into frame.
So living frugal is a concept where you are based.
And if you did you do like any color touch up? Because I feel like it's not bad.
Basically living below your mean, or basically cheap. People might not want to call it cheap, but I call.
Okay. So does anybody else have thoughts within the opening seconds? What I'm gonna do is play out maybe like the first minute or so, and maybe we can all take some notes and then kind of go from there. But anybody else like thoughts within the first couple seconds? Things that stuck out, or you liked, you didn't like? Pull me closer. I like walking around with my smaller OBS spot, but I'm switching between my GoPro head cam and talking head. It's more relaxing than just all talking head. More perspective anyways. Yeah. In my head, AG, the way I read that is you like having more than one angle to work with when you're filming something like that. I think that does add a little, it keeps things more interesting than staring at a single frame perspective. A dedicated set inside of a room always feels more professional. Movement needs to have purpose. Damn. Yeah, I think the purpose thing and the motivation thing is applicable outside of just like camera movements as well. And it's something that I've really been trying to get better at when it comes to like any decisions that you're making with graphics, when we're choosing to cut, if the camera's moving, the zoom level, etc. These things should all have some kind of reason behind it outside of I just did it because I felt like I needed something. I think the full screen graphic of cheap being underlined should have just been over his shoulder, just because the graphic was so short, it felt jarring to switch back and forth. I think that's a good point, A-Ball. That was one of the things that I was going to make a comment on is, well, I'd like to play continue to play the video through to see how things progress, but it does feel like this graphic, where is it?
So living frugal is a concept where you are basically living below your mean, or basically cheap.
Where this graphic comes in pretty quickly. I think that has to do a little bit with the timing of the cut. But let's go. I'm going to go ahead and play from the beginning. We'll do like a minute or so, and then we'll talk about it.
So So living frugal is a concept where you are basically living below your mean, or basically cheap. People might not want to call it cheap, but I call it cheap because this is how I was brought up. My dad would always, find the best way to save money, and I would call it cheap. But later I got older and older. It's not being cheap, it's being smart with your money and your finances. I have my own way of living frugal, and this might be different with everybody else. For me, there's 5 ways that I am living frugal. Number 1 is buying used products. I would never really buy new things. That's how I was brought up. I would never buy new things unless if I really need it. At the end, it does the same job as a new product. Second is basically getting off social media. Social media is one of the key way of you becoming more of a consumer than a creator or someone who wants to build things. I stayed off social media for like 2-3 years, and it made me realize that half the stuff that I bought I do not use. So it's like all these stuff that I bought in my previous life, I never used it. I never used it once. Well, I probably used it once, but I did not use it after. It made me realize that social media really makes me a consumer, and I became a consumer, so I had to stop. And number 3 is eating at home. This could be tricky sometimes, but I am eating home mostly. I am eating when my mother cooks. I love when my mother cooks. That's the best food in the world. Although some people might not have that luxury, but I have it, so I am grateful.
Okay. Before I start yapping, what do you guys think? About 1:30 into the video. Thoughts on presentation, pacing, stylistic choices, sound, vocal cadence and pacing is good. Okay. Okay. It feels relatable, Tim says. I think that's a really strong point in this video. Definitely. The fact that we're talking about things that the common person can definitely relate to. The pacing is good, but nonstop. I feel like I want to breathe a bit between main points. I'm kind of with AG on this one. I think you have a good cadence when you're illustrating your points, but one of the things that I'm feeling is as we're going through this video, if we were to look at the audio wave here, like the combined audio wave on that final render, I would wager that it's just like this, like it's nonstop throughout those cuts. And I think a problem that you're going to run into on longer form videos is that this what is the right word? I'll just say when you're not giving somebody a break, it becomes pretty exhausting as a viewer quickly. People you need to give people a chance to digest the thing that you just said. And so what ends up happening is if you don't give some dips and rises and full on pauses, and then, we build back up, we don't have different rhythms to the story that you're telling, we lose the weight of a lot of the things that you're saying. Because it doesn't feel like any one thing is more important than the other. It's going to feel like everything is exactly the same throughout the video. So Tim said a good rule of thumb is usually 4 to 6 seconds of 2 shots of B-roll to support the story and then let it breathe. I would agree. And I think that anytime your main character in the story or whoever's delivering the voiceover makes a point, give it a beat. Give it a half a second bare minimum to just let it breathe. Let the viewer absorb what's being said and then begin your transition. So I think I'd echo what everybody's saying in that the pace at which you're stringing together the dialogue is strong, but it does feel, there's a better word for it, but like monotonous with the cadence at which everything's being delivered. Something else that I think would, so I hesitate to agree with you on the word smooth, because I think smooth for you might mean like finding more ways to string things together quickly. What I'm saying is, if you're looking at your timeline here and we're looking at the video tracks, I think it's okay to add space in between those cuts. So it doesn't have to be like, if we were to look at the overall the timeline and where you're placing cuts, right? So like if I were to cut the video, it's okay to do something like this and then this. We're giving something a chance to have its moment so that we can enjoy and watch what's being said. This kind of break in the delivery of things is where you as an editor can have the most impact on your story. I think something that I struggle with, and a lot of editors who are just getting started struggling with, is trusting the video to do a lot of the legwork. We're so focused on leaving our imprint on the video and showing off what we can do that we forget that the video itself is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? A video I always go back to on this is a video from, I don't know if I've ever seen this. I'll show it for the OBS people. How does an editor think and feel? I'll definitely give that a watch. That's good comms. That was my biggest takeaway from the video. I think overall, you got a strong cut here. Stylistically, a couple things that I think you could do to strengthen is font choice. I feel like, for me, whenever I'm doing titles like these, you might have to do a bit of experimenting, but I might look to do this all caps. So have the 5 ways to live more frugally all caps, at least with this style of font. I'm trying to, I might look into some different like sans fonts. One of them that I'm a big fan of and I use is Josephina. This is kind of a fun one. Similar in style to this guy here. It's just got a little bit more edge to it. This is called, or Josephine, excuse me, or Josephine, the end of Jose. And then something else I wanted to comment on is song choice. I think the song choice was good. I think it fits the tone of the video and the delivery of the person speaking. The gentleman here,
would always,
he's pretty soft spoken, but he's a more soft spoken individual, more reserved. So I think it made sense to have the like kind of a lo-fi beat in the background opposed to like some kind of driving EDM song. Couple other like just smaller things that I noticed. What is 31?
I have my own way of living frugal, and this might be different with everybody else. For me, there's 5.
I would get rid of that. Whatever this like zoom whip transition, just cut to the next shot.
And this might be different with everybody else. For me, there's 5 ways that
anytime you're doing a pre-built-in transition or one that you've made, so like a zoom, a whip, a wipe transition, maybe it's some kind of like graphical mask on transition there, it's normally done to ease ease in a drastic change of scenery or tone. And a lot of times they don't make sense with camera footage. Most of those are going to work a lot better with like motion graphics or motion animation as opposed to just like camera footage. So when in doubt, if you're not sure how to cut from A to B, I would normally default to just like a straight cut. Straight cut, either J or L, and your cuts are going to feel a lot more confident opposed to throwing on like a cross dissolve or like a smooth cut or something, right? If you're feeling like you have to use a transition like that, there's probably a bigger problem in cutting from A to B than, than what am I going with? You know what I'm saying. Anyways.
I have my own way of living frugal. Number one is buying used products. I would never
yeah, I think I had a note here as well, and I think it just had to do with the font choice. I don't mind the background graphic. I think it's a perfectly fine graphic. I do feel like there's moments in here where
is buying used products. I would never really buy new things. That's how I was brought up. I would never buy new things unless if I really need it.
I think there's moments in here, just like the chalkboard graphic, where if you're going to introduce B-roll, introduce it and let it have its share of time on screen before cutting back to the camera footage. I think Tim had said this as well. Like, if you're not going to show something for at least 4 seconds, there's got to be a really good reason to just like flash the viewer with it, because it does feel a bit jarring.
New things unless if I really need it. At the end, it does.
Yeah, probably no need for the like pop sound effect in here either. I think I made that note.
If I really need it. At the end, it does the same job.
So this will be the last thing I say. And I know I'm kind of harping on you on the video. I hope you know that it's coming from I think you did a good job. I always hate doing the criticism thing because it's so easy for me to sit back here and be super nitpicky. But, oh, darn it. Going from...
That's how I was brought up. I would never buy new things unless if I really need it. At the end,
here to going to like this graphic, I think is a good example of just letting that thought have its half a beat before we cut to the graphic. So we can just listen to what was just said.
I would never buy new things unless if I really need it. At the end.
So I probably would have held on the camera shot until here. So like we go, I'm going to close my eyes and I'll tell you when I would have cut to the graphic.
I would never buy new things unless if I really need it. At the end.
That probably would be where I would cut to the graphic. So it's just something to think about. Style it like at the end of the day, it's your choice on what you feel works best. I am one voice in a sea of editors. I'm not the authority on this. So yeah, if you feel like this works, do it. Just something to think about, something to consider. Traveler, did you have any other questions on the video? Any other things that you were worried about or something you were like conscious of when you were making this? Just overview, W. Do I still have my clap sound effect? No, I lost my clap sound effect. Can we do some claps for Traveler? Good work, sir. Good work. Thank you for sharing. He's been declapped. No, man. All right. I appreciate you for sharing. I got to go get my clap sound effect back. Tim, was there something you wanted to, okay. I'll invite you up. Come on up, man.
I might as well.
You might as well. Hello, sir.
All right. So yeah, hopefully it's just yeah, or if there's like YEH or whatever your name is. I always hate trying to pronounce people's stuff.
Dude, you just respelling your name does not help. I've been saying yeah.
All right, fair enough. Okay. So he was asking a question in quick help, initially with the vector scope and stuff, with like how, and immediately when I saw this vector scope, I was like, oh yeah, he did a shot in the woods. It's a very, very common thing where your skin tones are having a hard time, basically trying to keep up with woods footage because it's all like heavy green, yellow shifts everywhere. So actually, so he posted a couple images, but funny enough, I actually have a clip that's uh, eerily similar to the what he's trying to show, and I don't. Can I share my screen?
The auditorium always.
I
You might have to do virtual cam.
okay. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I.
That's
If it's a pain, we can just hop into one of the other voice channels. I just every time I do this, I hope that Discord has fixed the stages, and every time they haven't fixed it. So
all right. Well, that's fine. I'll do. I'm pulling up OBS now, so let's see. All right. I'll just pull the program, start virtual cam, and then I should be able to just turn this on and we should be good to go. Are we good to go? No, that's the wrong source. Hold on. There it is. Okay, good.
there it is.
All right, it's not mirrored, is it?
I don't think so. No, we're looking good.
Sick. All right, awesome. All right, fool me.
How do I?
I think you have to hover over and then just click the full screen button.
Where's the full screen button?
It's like on the bottom right.
Oh.
And then probably cut off chat. I don't know, but yeah. Feet. Oh my word. Okay, let me just go to this part of the shot because this makes more sense. All right. Okay. Everybody seeing this? All good and everything? Blah blah blah. Yay! Awesome. So, yeah, let me know if this is good enough for you. But just so we see like the before and after, this was the original state of the footage, and we're basically right now we're just doing the simple CST in to DaVinci Wide Gamut and CST out. It's basically the similar thing to what he experienced, and we're getting a somewhat similar. I tried to pull that out and that didn't work. But you can kind of see in the vector scope, we're kind of giving a very similar shift where it's like just that heavy greenish yellow shift way over here, right? And so that's what we're trying to correct for. So how can we add or keep saturation in the skin while like keeping this subdued? Because we just try to, oh, this kind of added over there. I'm going to take this out for now. Because if we just tried to like add saturation, it's going to look absolutely awful, and that's just horrible. Nothing looks good about this image. So what can we do? So there's a couple things. Um, a few of these things I kind of explored in the well, not kind of. We actually went into quite great detail the first time we did the color session. But this has to do with going into a linear space. So the first thing I'm going to do is right after the CST in to go into DaVinci Wide Gamut. There's one prerequisite for this. If you're working in DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Intermediate, make sure that your project settings in your color management, your timeline color space has to be set to DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate. If this is not set, this will not work, or at least it won't work properly. So make sure that's set in your color management tab. Then the next thing we need to do is tag this node, tag the gamma to linear. And the reason we did that project settings bit is because that's how this node knows how to go into linear. That's really what that means. For more detail, we did the stuff on the color session. But the other thing we need to do with this is make sure our loom mix is set to 0 because I'm not going to worry about exposure in this one. I'm just trying to correct for color balance, right? So basically what we need to do with this now that the node is in linear, we have our loom mix set to 0. We're moving our gain. We're just moving the color wheel of our gain over towards where it looks a little bit more normalized, right? So we get this, and maybe we get a little bit more normal looking skin tones. So this is just like a simple white balance adjustment, right? And maybe that's not the exact look that we're going for, but this works for now. I'm just going to put a little bit of contrast on here too, just so this is like a somewhat normal looking image here. Just a basic contrast curve. So we have a pretty normalized looking image here. So what if we wanted to get rid of some of this green, but still keep some of that skin tone intact and actually add more life to the skin tone? Well, what I was starting to describe a little bit in the chat is like a little bit of a HSL HSV trick. So what we can do is we'll just go ahead and add a node here. I'm going to make this a parallel node. So I'm going to right click this one, go to add node, add parallel. And what I'm going to do here is on this top one, it doesn't matter if it's top or bottom in this order, it's just the way I prefer to do it. Right click on the top one, go to color space, and we'll select HSV. And I'm going to go ahead and label this just so it's easier to see. On this bottom one, we'll go ahead and right click, color space, we'll set it to HSL. And I'm going to go ahead and label this one accordingly. So now what we've done is essentially these are two of the four color spaces that have kind of these special properties that no other color space does. And that basically means that it's changing our red, green, and blue to hue, saturation, and value or luminance, depending on if it's HSV or HSL. So that means if I move the red, it's going to move hue. If I move green, it's going to move saturation. If I move blue, it's going to move the value or luminance. Now, the reason we do it this way is because in HSV uses what's known as a subtractive model, or basically whenever colors increase in saturation, they become darker. So, and the reason that matters is because that actually emulates how film works. Because or just light in general, because usually when light bounces off something and it increases in color, there's less light bouncing off of it. So naturally, it becomes darker, which is the opposite of how a normal saturation knob works. Like, when we're trying to do the saturation before this saturation knob, this is an additive model. So basically, what this is doing is it's making our colors brighter, but that's why this saturation adjustment looks terrible, is because it looks unnatural, looks digital, looks video. So this saturation knob, never touch it. It's absolute garbage, trash. Don't touch it. All right. So HSV. What else can we do with this? Well, now that we've changed our channels to hue, saturation, value, and we can use saturation inside of gain and gamma. With gain, you're focused mostly on the highest saturation values. Gamma is more focused on the mid saturation values. But here's a fun little trick here. You can actually bring down gain. So bring down saturation and gain like so, and then bring up saturation in gamma.
Huh.
Now look at the difference. Watch. Before, after.
That's so sick.
So now we've brought a lot more life into the skin tones, and this background has barely changed. And that's because we're bringing down, and you can see in the vector scope, all those values here in the center, or like where they were really low, are now all of a sudden having some life breathed into them, and the saturations that were really high are maintained, like they maintain their saturation basically. There's another way to do this too, which is actually kind of fun. Instead of doing it with our gain and gamma, we can actually just do it in our custom curves. If we unlink this edit tab here and go to the green channel, remember green is now saturation, we can take this end up here, bring this down. So this is effectively the same thing as gain, but now we can create a custom saturation curve. So we can increase saturation in lower values and bring them down in the higher values, and now we can like really have fun with pushing. Now I'm pushing this to an extreme just for the sake of example, but we're doing a lot of change to those to the skin tones, the ones that were really really low, and very little to the ones that were really high. So we get something like that. Now, another couple things that are fun to play with. Why is this HSL node here? Why does this exist? Well, this we can kind of play against HSV. I'm going to simplify this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and reset that. So let's say HSL is actually using a very, very similar additive model that the regular saturation knob does, although it's slightly more accurate, I would say. But what's fun is we can actually take away saturation with the gain knob in HSL. So bring this down. I'll make this an extreme example. So let's bring it down way down here, and then an HSV will bring saturation up in gain. And effectively, what we're doing here is almost like a density adjustment. So if I do a before and after, we're making those colors now much more rich and much more deep. Because effectively, what we're doing is, because HSV is a subtractive model, we're making the colors darker. And because HSL is additive, but we're taking away the saturation, it's almost like it's a double subtractive. But because we're taking away saturation here, adding it here, this is effectively a density adjustment. So we're making our colors very much more rich without it looking, looking strange. So, and again, you can even still play with like gain and gamma here.
I have a question, Tim.
Make, make a very rich looking thing. Yes.
So something that I don't know how to emulate well in DaVinci, but I do like in Photoshop is the selective color adjustment. So like I'm not sure if you're familiar with the adjustment, but like on her shirt, like the yellow shirt, let's say I wanted to push it more towards orange. What would be your approach to doing that?
So there's a couple ways to do it. I personally like using Tetra DCTLs because they're free. Um, there's a couple other DCTLs that are nice too. The default that probably most people are familiar with are hue versus hue, or
Mm-hmm.
hue versus set, hue versus loom curves. I personally am not a fan of these just because it's really easy to break your image and they aren't the most accurate, but essentially what you would do is you would just like click on these colors to make your points. You want to make these as like gentle and broad of adjustments as possible. So like you can move this and push it like, so I can push my yellow-ish area up a little bit towards red. And so that can work. And again, you want to be extremely subtle with it because it's really easy to break. But the way that I personally like doing it, again, this is using DCTLs. You can also use the RGB mixer if you are on the free version. So a way that I would function with this is make sure I set all three of these to auto. And this is like the RGB mixer is really dense and really powerful, but very hard to understand. But essentially, what I would be doing with this is bringing um, if I start bringing the blue output down, then it's basically shifting everything along the blue and yellow axis. Same thing with green. If I move the green and the green output, it's basically going to shift everything along the green magenta axis. And then red output, red cyan axis. Um, and this is a good way to do like camera matching as well. If a camera has like some weird bias, but you can see that like I can bring a lot more life into like those red and yellow areas if I push red up, so I get a lot more color in her, and then I can bring it down in the green area so that the forest isn't as punchy, but without like ruining a bunch of the other stuff, and then I can compensate with blue and yellow as well if I need to bring some of that yellow back with the blue. But so that's the RGB mixer way of doing it. So like here's before, here's after. So it basically makes that green a lot less distracting. So my preferred way to do it would be with Tetra DCTLs. There's two of them I'm going to show. Both of these are free, by the way, if you have Studio. The first one is going to be Tetra V2. And basically what this does, it's similar to the RGB mixer, but it's a lot easier to understand. So essentially what this will do is you see we have a number of dials here, but basically it's just telling us like whatever color we're selecting here. So whether it's red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, we're basically taking any of these sliders and moving that individual color along whatever color
Mm-hmm.
axis. So red, green, blue. So for example, let's just go with green for easy one here. So let's say I wanted to move green more towards the blue. So I take this green vector here. I'm going to find green blue because I want to move it along blue and yellow axis. So I shift this ahead here and I move green towards blue. Or if I wanted to add some more green into it, I can push some green and then, I can move it along the red cyan axis if I wanted to, do
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But that's basically how the Tetra V2 works. It's a really, really nifty tool to have, and I can do the same thing with my yellow range. A lot of times, foresty stuff is going to land inside of that yellow range because that's just how cameras will capture it. The other tool that I really like using is the Tetra Interp HSV. Um, and instead of moving them along the green or red, green, blue axis, we can shift their hue, saturation, and value. So it's basically the same as doing this HSV, but on individual colors. So I can go into my yellow here, and I can like adjust how saturated it is. I can move its hue, and I can adjust its density. And I can do that per color channel as well.
So when you're using the first one, the V2 is exactly what I was looking for. That's like the exact.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite tools for especially
Yeah.
camera matching. Yeah.
Normally, this would still be used inside the in between the CSTs.
I usually do, yes.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, and then the last thing I'll show is like I never use a CST for my output. I'll actually use a DCTL for this. This is also free, by the way. It's the JP2499 DRT. It kind of implies a look already, but you have more fine-tuned control of your tone mapping. So you can like adjust your overall red rotation, green, blue, or you can adjust your highlight hue rotations. So only the brightest spots get adjusted. Or you can adjust your purity, which is essentially like how saturated you want your tone mapping to be for red, green, blue as well. But yeah, I really like the JB2499. It handles it handles highlights a lot better, in my opinion, in terms of like being able to highlights and shadows. It kind of creates a split tone almost intuitively. So shadows will lean more toward, like, let's say for the red channel example, shadows will lean more towards magenta, while highlights will lean more towards yellow. Same thing with in the green channel, shadows will move more towards yellow, highlights will move more towards cyan. So it just intuitively like creates this nice clean color separation from highlight to shadow, which
Yeah.
I typically prefer. So that's why it's there. I linked it in the quick help chat if you guys want the JB2499. I can also link um, the Tetra Interp and the Tetra V2 DCTLs as well. Those are also both free.
Yeah, I'm
So
snagging
I'll link.
V2.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will link all of them in the chat right now. So, but yeah, hopefully that kind of helps. Yeah. Yeah. This should help you like have much more fine-tuned control over your over yeah, especially in stuff like woods where just greens and yellows are just flying all over the place. This will give you much more subdued control. But yeah, first is like as always, you want to do your exposure and your white balance first, and I do both of those in linear. I set my contrast adjustment to define the body of the image, and then I start doing my saturation after that, and then color matching, whatever else, and then CST out, and then that's the basic workflow I've got. So yeah, I'll go ahead and link all three of these DCTLs in chat, and yeah, that's all I got.
And that's all I have for today. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Tim. Shout out Tim, man. That's my guy. That's my freaking guy. Always like so eye-opening for DaVinci Resolve. The V2 that I'm telling you, that's exactly what I was looking for. Like the selective color adjustment in Photoshop is one of my favorite tools for correcting and making images look the way I want. So massive for the common man. Perfect. I think the last thing, AG, are you still here? Yes, AG is still here. We do sounds. So AG, for two people actually. Ack, if you're still here and you want to talk sound, we can do that as well. Did you? I'm trying to remember your question, but were you mostly talking about like which online resources are the best for sound? Is it just a general like what is good sound wise? Hey, sounds good. Yeah. Enjoy your afternoon, evening, morning. Sound go. Ooh, he's got that V2 link in the drive. Give me that. Let me just download that real quick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Depending on the question, Ack, listen to me, man. You, no matter the question, you are the answer. Damn. What do you think about that?
Well.
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 If it isn't Mr. Adobe.
Hello, guys.
What's up, guys?
Been summoned.
It's your boy. It's your boy, K-pop.
Shut up, Tim. What was the question? I don't remember it.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter the question. You are the answer. I think AG's typing it out. I think it was originally, it had to do with sound libraries. I'm trying to find it. I think for sound.
Snap.
Oh, a library review. Sound reasons first. Are tonals worth it? Are tonals worth it for newer sound designers or editors overall? How to properly request licensed music from unique artists. The list goes on, friends. Tonals. I'm not familiar with that. Ack, are you familiar with what he means by tonals? Are you talking about just like the generic category of tonal sound effects?
I haven't heard about that either.
What I would say, AG, is that for me in editor land, there's only so much I do when it comes to like sound design and mixing. So like I'm not composing. Like I'm not taking stems and composing unique beats or songs. That's definitely not something I'm doing. So I'm not sure if you're talking about tonals like you're like are tonals worth it in the sense that it's like a unique something that you're building out. So I'll let you clarify that. In terms of like how to properly request licensed music from an artist, that really, I think that depends a lot on the scope and scale of what you're doing. Most of the time, if it's like an indie artist or somebody, that doesn't work with like a label, you're probably going to be best off just like reaching out to them through email or DM and just see, like, hey, I'm a fan. And you just say like, are you okay if I use your song? Or, you ask like, is it okay for me to license this? And then, they'll have a process that they'll go through, or they'll just say like PayPal me $20, or they'll just say like, yeah, go ahead and use it. Just make sure you put my stuff in the description. I've been seeing a lot of multiply sound tonals packs in between a small group of editors are debating if it's worth the purchase. I got you. Okay. I think a lot would not.
No.
Yeah. That's where I was going to go as well. I think you would be surprised at how many free sound resources there are spread across the internet. Most of the time, if you're paying for sound effects, it's like big budget. It's going to be something that is going to be used in some kind of like commercial sense where you had somebody specifically design sound effects for you. But a lot of times too, man, like for sound effects, dude, you can record like a majority of them just like through your phone mic. Like if you need a whoosh, you can literally just turn on your phone mic and go, and then you have a whoosh.
I'm gonna link. I'm gonna link the site I use, and here just search tonal, and there's like a bunch of them. So unless you need something extremely specific, then I would probably just use free ones.
AG, were you here last time when I shared this Sonus resource? I can't remember. If not, I'll pull it up again. Pixabay is great. There's what's the other one? One of the ones that I always like, because I'm in the gaming world, so it just makes sense. Well, Epidemic's paid. For free stuff, there's a website called Sounds Resource. It has basically any game sound effect that you can think of within the last, probably not like new gen, so you might not get like Elden Ring stuff, but like stuff like this is fine. There's also a company called Soundly that does more commercial grade sound effects. They'll have free and paid stuff. So the way theirs works is I'm not sure if you can do it through their website, but I have their desktop app and it's really nice. So like I have the free version, so I don't pay. But they have really quality stuff, and like a lot of times programs like this are great because you can just drag and drop into DaVinci. So like if I look up tonal sound, you can play this, and then you drag whatever section you want, and then I can literally drag and drop that into DaVinci if it'll work. For the love of, all right, never mind.
That's everything you'll ever need. Everything I linked.
Good. Everything I'll ever need. Do you have no? Do you have the sound of a toad getting smacked with a shovel?
Let me see. I do have like 20 impacts in that. Or in the folder.
No.
That can surely be used as a toad being smacked with a shovel.
Yeah, what I guess what I would say, AG, is if you're looking at binding a sound effect pack that is like basically composed of whooshes, impacts, hits, risers, crescendos, clicks, what are some of the other big like bells, like
ambience, please.
Like if you
like wind and rain and stuff.
Yeah, like if that's all the sound effect pack is composed of, I would not recommend buying it. Most of the time, like I would consider paying for a sound effects pack if it was like a very specific sound that I needed for this video. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing, so AJ, I can't remember if you were here last time or not, but apparently there's a conference where these game audio designers got together and they shared all of their sound effects. So this, like the past year in 2024, I went and downloaded all of them. Yeah. So that's like, you just got to be careful on the internet. I know Tim has talked about this a lot with like downloading LUTs. There's a lot of people out there with good intentions with this sort of thing, but I'd wager that like 50% of the people that are selling stuff like this are normally doing it because they know that they can kind of get away with it. And I'm not saying that about the person who's selling the tonals, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just kind of ask around, you'll normally figure out how to avoid paying for stuff like that.
YouTube is great.
Yeah,
just downloading sounds off YouTube.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, if you really need a sound effect, you could just turn on OBS, record, and then just like export the MP3.
Toad with a shovel.
I talk about it all the time. Tim recommends audio, which is probably a great resource. I like this will be my. I feel like I end up plugging Epidemic each time we do one of these. I use Epidemic for like all my sounds. 99% of them, except for Axe 2 whooshes that have now made it into my library.
You're welcome.
That's strong. That one, whatever that one is, go to. Just
yeah, strong one is good.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
How?
Love that. Yeah, of course, man. In terms of like sound still, AG, were there other things that you were kind of curious about in terms of like, when do I do this? How would I use this? What would be something you would recommend I learn to use? Anything like that? While he's typing that up, Axe, since you're our resident sound expert now, what would be something that you wish you knew you're first starting out? Like, what's something you do regularly with your sound design that you look back on and wish you had incorporated in a lot of your old videos?
Stretching and compressing the same sound to give different vibes.
Go on.
Like I could use the same swoosh like 10 times in an edit, but they all sound different because some are longer, shorter, some have reverb, more bass, stuff like that.
So when you're talking about stretching and compressing, you're talking about retiming that sound effect?
Yeah.
Do you EQ them at all, or is it mostly a timing thing?
No, it's just timing. I don't EQ at all.
Damn. That's why you're mid.
Can I stream? I don't know. I can't.
No, it's the auditorium. So the way Tim did it is he opened OBS and then he started a virtual cam. And then you share your camera.
I have OBS installed.
Oh my gosh, I just... Just getting my feet wet with sound. Yeah, I would do more than that. I think it's something I continue to iterate over and over. The more I learn to edit, the more I learn how important sound design is. Like I tend to find that my timelines are expanding more in the audio direction than in like the video visual direction. Super important. Computers.
It's even better with layers.
Well, I mean, we do layers on our timeline too. It's just like Fusion is a superior... Dude, actually, you know why I was pissed off today is I opened up good old Twitter and I saw some dude on there crapping on DaVinci, and then I clicked on his profile and I saw the animation he did. And I was like, oh my God, this is the guy? This is the guy smack talking to DaVinci? Like, oh my gosh. I just can't take it. I was rage baited almost successfully. I almost started typing an essay and then I was like, Brandon, you're over 30 years old. Go be an adult. I feel like I have to do another 100 hours worth of research just in audio. I'm just not sure how to ask the right questions in this. Got you. What I will say, AG, and I'll show you kind of what Ak was talking about, just to like expand your horizons a little bit when it comes to sound design. What do I have in here? What do I have in here? What do I have?
This is basically what I use. So I guess it shifts the pitch, but it's not like directly EQ.
Yeah, it's just it's hard using Adobe. It's just a lesser software. We can use Axe axe swooshes. This sucker just got some meat on it. Just a girthy whoosh, that is. Mm-hmm. Bang. So what he was kind of describing is that there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate sound effects to be a bit closer to the vibe that you're trying to achieve. So one of the things that he was saying that he likes to do is he'll go, and I don't think there's a way to do it. Oh, there is a way. So what he'll do is in the audio tab, he'll go over and mess with like the speed change. So he might compress his to do like, or excuse me, wrong direction. Maybe we'll do like 150 speed. And I should make a couple copies. So this is compressed. Slightly different. We could do this again where we change the speed to be slower, and it might be a bit buggy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that for me.
Some of the other things that you can do, and this is a trick that I learned within like the first couple months of editing that is actually super handy, is you can just do like some quick pitch changes as well to differentiate noises. So we could do a couple semitones down and a couple semitones up. Right? It's same sound effect, just slightly different. The thing that I like doing now as well is EQing certain things. So sometimes it's less of an issue if you're doing, like, I know you're kind of involved in the music world, so it's less of an issue when you're editing like music videos or working on montages or things where sound is in the forefront. And we want to feel the audio that you're presenting. But when you're working on longer form videos, a lot of times we want the sound there to emphasize whatever that cut or effect that's being shown on screen. That audio that should be attached with it. But there's moments where we don't want it to be as invasive, and so a quick trick for doing something like that is, again, over in your audio tab, if you just turn on your EQ here. If you might be a bit more familiar with this than most coming from music land, but this can be pretty intimidating if you've never looked at one of these before. All you want to do is go over to this last band, turn it on, drag it over. What the EQ does is basically adjust the volume based on the frequency. So what I'm doing is I'm reducing the volume of the higher frequencies. Those pure, crisp frequencies and that sound effect, it kind of muffles it. So if I were to drag this all the way over, right? It's almost like that underwater kind of a sound. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the EQ to emphasize, again, that emotion that you're going for. So you could do the reverse, and I could turn on the back end, and I could boost, hold on. Don't mind me. I could boost that low end. Now we sound like we got 808s on the Ford Taurus with spinners. Good.
Jesus.
Get that bass really coming through. Just some things to think about. So that was EQ, speed change, pitch change. Something else that is really fun to do with your sound effects and even just like music tracks as well is, let's see, do I have... Here, we'll do this. Nope, not that one. a lot of times when I'm doing sound design for videos, for me, and I have a feeling you, like some of you guys already do this, oftentimes I really like don't even need to play the sound to kind of to know what it's going to feel or look like, right? Like we can kind of look at the audio wave and you know that, sorry, take care of a loved one, in and out, but I'm listening. No worries at all. I'll just keep yapping then. And then if you want to come back, play the VOD, you can definitely do that. All right, so I'll do a little yap session then. I can look at the audio wave and I know that this is going to be some kind of an impact, right? Now it's a pretty high pitched impact. And this is going to be good for a moment where we're making some kind of a transition or a cut where I want something to hit pretty hard. We can do things where we change the pitch down, whatever. But sometimes there's moments where I want to lead up to something happening, right? Like I'd like a riser or some kind of tension builder, something that's adding to whatever's about to happen. And if I can't find it in my risers, so let's say we can even use the whoosh that we just added. Or was that the common swoosh? Right, so like I'm looking around and so like I can't find something that's giving me the intended sound effect. Well, what you can do is just reverse it, just like Missy Elliott. So I can go over to the speed change, flip it around, and I can even put these two on top of each other. Oops. So now I have a riser into an impact. You can do this with whooshes as well. So again, like I could use this whoosh as a riser. So I could flip this. Maybe we need to cut it off here. Right? You could stack it on top of like, you don't have to use the same sound effect. This is just for this example. So like I could use this whoosh impact here. Maybe not a great example. And then if you need to have it feel a little less abrupt, well, then we can just do some reverbing, right? This is, I think, what Ak was saying as well. So we could go and add some reverb, cut off a little snippet, drag it down into reverb land. I need something over here. Hold on. Is this not the reverb track? Hello? Where did I put reverb on? Did I not add it? Hello? Please? Hello?
It's broken.
Please? Like... There we go. There we go. Some kind of a tail. So what, like, I guess the last thing I'd say with sound design and sound effects is you can basically create a whole new sound or experience just by doing some like really simple changes to the sound design. So this is probably a good example for like the riser thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Hello, volume. So again, like I can look at the audio wave here, and if I need something that's building up to a moment, well, I can experiment with this. I can just go, all right, let's flip it around. Right, and you get this like completely new sound to your effect, and you can do things with like EQs, etc. The last thing that I'll say is that, let's see if we
sent you some sound design.
Oh, volume.
Jeez.
here we go, is you can apply this concept to tracks as well. So I could take this little bit right here, flip it around. Right? So this would be, oops. Before. After. Subtle. Again, you could do things where like you take this little bit, flip it, speed it up. Just some things that you can play around with when it comes to sound design. With that last sound, the riser you flipped around, how would you take a moment from that near the end to create a static, like eerie sound that drones on? That drones on.
Modulator? Do you have modulator in DaVinci?
We do.
Or like distorted.
We do. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best approach for something like that. Honestly, a lot of times with sound, it ends up coming down to me just kind of like playing with stuff until I get it to sound exactly how I'd like.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I have the same thing.
So are you wondering if there's a way that we can have this sound extend past, like after that rise?
I think you meant the one, like the sharp one, when you had the one into the punch. The one you did before.
With the whoosh or the bell?
Like riser into the bell, I think.
Okay. Hey, sounds good, Traveler. Enjoy your morning, evening, afternoon. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
So this one. This one.
Oh.
Come on up, big dog.
Yo, hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you.
You know that sound that you're on right there? When you play it back one more time, near the end of right there, that just sounds like it's going into like the static effect. I was wondering if you had the ability, maybe like modulation, that's where you could kind of take that last, like, I don't know, 10th of a second and like stretch it out, make it a lot longer where you create this static like sound effect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So I don't have a direct answer for you on this one, but I'll show you the ways I would approach it. So there's two ways that you can do this. The first is probably the more proper way, and it's to do things on the Fairlight page at like the track level, kind of like how we did here. So I slapped my reverb on this track. So if I were to duplicate this, oh, damn it. I need something after. Right. So anything I put on this track is going to have reverb attached to it. So what you could do is you could play around with the audio effects on this track. Maybe you need multiple versions or multiple tracks where you're stacking things on top of each other to kind of get the right sound effect. So that would be one way that you could do it. That's a good question. So there is a setting in your view menu. If you go to show duplicate frames, anytime you reuse a certain audio file or also Noel, I like that you have a different font in your name. That's cool. if you like duplicate an audio file or a video file, it'll show you where. So this is nice when you're, I don't know if I have a quick example. All right, we're doing a quick little detour. Give me one sec. Where would be a good? All right, I don't have a good quick example, but basically, like if you're going through and, oh, actually, I do have a good example. Hold on, I do have a good example. One sec.
What are you sorting?
Don't worry about what I'm sorting, man. Don't worry what's on my timeline, bud. Oh, damn it. This is the wrong. This is the wrong thing. So this is an example that I was recently doing, but basically if you're going through and sorting footage, right? So you got a bunch of footage and you're going through and trying to figure out what you should use. Well, what you can do is you go through, you pick out what you can use, you make maybe like your selects timeline of that footage. And then what you can do is like copy that footage back onto your timeline. And then you can see where you've pulled that footage from. So that way you don't have to go back to your media pool. So for me, this is like, it's really nice when I'm editing a quick like 60-second montage or something like that. Cause then, I typically, when I'm editing something like that, I'll have my usable footage over on the right half of the timeline. And then I can just like quickly see on the right half, like, have I already used this clip? Yeah. Okay. Delete it, stuff like that. So, super useful. Super useful. Super useful. Yeah. Very nice tool. So to kind of take us back to doing sound effects stuff, AG, one of the things that you can do is play around with effects on the track level. The other thing that you can do is, I actually, I don't know why I got so much heat for this. It's probably because it's not the best way to do things long term. But one of the first videos I ever did was showing you how to like compound sound effects and apply effects to them. And man, I got cooked for doing it. So I'm going to show you what this means, but you didn't hear it from me. So what you can do is with a sound effect like this, one of the issues of using this on the timeline is that we don't have any more real estate to work with, right? So if I wanted to extend this out, like I can't, you might be able to do stuff with the new like AI tools where you can extend it out. I don't know how well this will work, but okay, nice. So you can maybe mess around with some of the AI tools to figure it out. But the biggest issue, and this is why we do things on the track level, is that like if I were to add a reverb or a modulation effect, it's not going to work because the track ends here. So what you can do is this. You can compound the sound effect. If I right click and hit open a timeline, or my shortcut is mapped to C, I can open up that sucker on its own timeline. And then you can add anything on the timeline. You could duplicate the sound effect. You could go in and add in a solid color generator. Doesn't matter what it is. You just need to like faux extend this timeline. So if I drag my sound effect out here, just mute it. Now DaVinci recognizes that, hey, the length of this compound clip isn't 6 seconds and 19 frames. It's actually 26 seconds and 47 frames. So if I were to close this, come on, and go back to the original timeline, now I can extend this out. Right? So it's, I think there's some downsides to doing this. I don't know what they are yet, but now you kind of have some real estate to work with here. So for you, depending on how you want this to extend and play out, like if you really like that last little bit and you just want to drag it out, you could go into this compound clip and then, grab an end piece here. You might need to. Oh, do I have live trim on? No. Why are you doing that then? Why? Why are you just what? Like, wait. But why though? But here's the thing. But why though? Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing today. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, it's the third one.
Is this gonna be a jump scare?
Bang! Got you. Got you, got you. There we go. So if you like this last little bit, you could duplicate, stack it on top of each other. Might need to play around a little bit with the timings and how things are sounding. But that is something that...
Getting waterboarded.
That is something that I'll do if I'm working with a song or a sound effect and it doesn't quite reach the length that I would like, is a lot of times like I'll take a snippet of it, duplicate it, and then play with like how things fade in, fade out, or EQ'd to help. For that particular effect that you're going for, yeah, I would probably look for a different sound effect, to be honest. I think it's going to be easier for you to combine two sounds as opposed to making this one work. But we can try. So a lot of times with sound design as well, what you'll see, what I've seen people do is a lot of layers. Just like Shrek, man. Just like...
Amen.
Amen. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you're going to have a hard time carrying out that, like extending that tonality that you're looking for with just built-in effects without using like an actual audio mixer like Logic or something like that. So I would probably look into some different tonal sounds. Oh, this is actually, I know what these are going to sound like, so I'm not going to play them, but...
Nice. I know exactly which one it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't play it. I'll do some EQ and stuff first. But so like, again, so like something like this, right? See, if you're wanting this to extend out instead of build up, well, you can take this as a starting point, flip it. I'll probably EQ it because this is going to be like super high pitch. So I'd probably EQ it and then you can mess with the modulation. Got you. Got you.
My eardrums. I love that sound effect so much. It's a good one.
This particular noise is called tinnitus.
Let me see what I called it in my project.
I think one of the biggest tricks to getting better with sound effects is like just learning what they're called.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you all know about the level matches and Is that a typo sleeves and WeMatcher? You don't know about that's just in
I just called it earring.
earring, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, EQ matcher. Got it. My audio engineer friends scare me. They're too quick. Yeah. The whole sound world, man. It's like it's one of those things where you think you know like a good bit about whatever that thing is, right? And so like sound design, sound effects, and then you realize that there's people that get paid bazillions of dollars just to do like sound effects. Maybe not bazillions, but like at least like a quadrillion.
It's fun though.
It is fun. I like messing with sound effects. Does that help at all? Do you still have questions on that? Okay. Money. Perfect. You can copy EQ from clip. Sorry, go ahead, Ak.
I was gonna say I sent you a snippet of the sound design from the free run edit without the music.
Let me get that thing a download. Let me get that thing a quick download. Yeah, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but some of like my favorite search words for sound effects are some good ones to start acquiring early on would be like gears and clicks and what would be some other good ones like
atmospheric, and then whatever.
Man, I am blanking. Risers for sure.
Whooshes.
Yeah, like whoosh impacts.
What else we got here? Cinematic is a good search word.
Counters are a good one. Those are the ones that'll like if you've got like text flipping or like time changing. Heartbeats are good too. Yeah, those. Heartbeats are good to have too. Yeah, I'm blanking a little bit. I don't know. I have a lot of sounds and I don't use but maybe 10 of them.
Cloth sound effects are really nice.
Cloth.
How the fuck do you pronounce it?
Cloth. Yeah, you said it right.
Oh, okay.
You said it good.
Cloth.
Pull me closer. Okay. This is Axe Sound Design 102 in After Effects.
Dude, that's nothing. That's not even.
I know, and it just. Oh my god!
This is post render, post everything, so it's extremely messy. It didn't look like that when I was editing it.
Pull me closer.
God damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Telling you, man. Oh, digital. Digital is another word because like I tend to use like glitchy kind of stuff. Digital sound effects are good ones to have too. All right.
That's gonna be loud.
Our final category
Loud.
for anime of the year. Anime award goes
Ooh, a little sizzle. Dude, I'm telling you, Ak, you need to start posting this everywhere. If you did a video where you just shared on social media where this is like This is
That's what you mean.
third screen, and then you have like each of the sound effects kind of highlight as you. Oh, man, you pissing me off.
That's good comms. That's good comms.
Here's a good. I bookmarked this one. I was thinking of you. Hold on. Actually, I wasn't thinking of you. I was definitely thinking of me, but
It's gonna be when it's following the timeline. Oh.
like it's a little YouTuber-y in terms of presentation, but like
I see the vision.
see what I'm talking about? So it's not just like that nasty After Effects interface.
Okay, buddy. Oh, Jesus.
Good morning. Ooh, what was that? What was?
Some like ET alien-esque sound effect.
No, where is it? That. You hear it? They're like.
The sizzling or the... Oh, the...
No, that.
Oh, it's some electric sizzle, which I like pitched down to hell. I think it's like 4 times longer, and then reverb and bass on it.
Electric sizzle. Ain't no way it's called electric sizzle. There's no way.
100%.
There's no way somebody uploaded that and it was like, yeah, this is the electric sizzle. All right, I'm gonna do a quick search and see if I can't find your electric sizzle.
I swear that's what it's called. Like, I'm not shitting you.
This?
Not really.
That's kind of cool. Might just snag that for future Brandon.
I'm trying to find it in my timeline.
Ooh, I like that little crack noise.
Yeah.
Boom! I heard it. I heard it. That's my whoosh right there. Boom. That's that girthy one. This reminds me to organize my dude. I don't think I have anything out of pocket in my downloads.
Oh, AG, yeah, that's from
These are like
anime.
all the stuff I need to organize. How do you get this good, Ack?
Lots of time. Oh my god, B.
What? Dude, there's no way it's actually called electric sizzle.
Electric sizzle.
Oh my gosh. Just go ahead and snag that real quick. Thank you. What's yours is mine. What's yours is mine. I'm telling you what, like, the thing that is so cool about this is, I don't know if you guys have seen this video of Axe. Obviously, it's incredibly well done. And the thing that most of the time that somebody's going to be listening to is not this. Like, we're not listening to this. We're listening to the track and the dialogue that gets used in the video.
Song.
But there's like so much depth that's added with stuff like this that like I just can't stress enough how important it is to spend like an equal amount of time on your sound as well as the video for like a video like this, you know, depending on what you got going on. But yeah, anyways,
It makes it way more immersive.
mm-hmm. Fire. Boom.
Whoosh.
Yeah. W.
It's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Just a little bit of this. Yeah. AG, anybody else? Any sound related questions? It's like a professional AMV editor just said I can do more than cut to music. There's always more, man. There's always more. No matter what you do, there's always more. Just a question of, is it worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is me adding more electric sizzle gonna make the video better?
Add all the electric sizzles.
Next thing I do, actually, the video I'm gonna post. I have a video that's hopefully gonna go live either tomorrow or Saturday, and I'm gonna just fill it with some electric sizzle.
Just pitch it to your voice and delete like your dialogue.
Oh, actually, that's a good thing to maybe talk about. When you're looking at audio, if you need help with like EQing things or like Ak was saying, pitching things, there are tools like diagnostic tools in DaVinci for doing that. So one of them is the frequency analyzer. So you can kind of see how the EQ is distributed. So even if I were to put a high pass or a low pass filter that was really cranked over, I probably wouldn't notice it until I cross this halfway point, right? And I think, what's the other one? I don't think it's the phase meter. No. I think this changes the pitch. Yeah, it doesn't monitor it. Maybe I'm mistaken. Boris, what does this do?
What the hell?
Wait, that's actually sick. It's kind of like the vocal channel where it's combining a bunch of different effects. I've never even used this. Huh.
New video?
New video. Guys, you won't believe what I discovered by myself. Nobody else has seen this, just me. Huh. I thought there was like another audio monitoring tool. Maybe I'm mistaken. Anyways. Alrighty, crew. I think I'm going to call office hours there. Get back to it. Let you guys get the rest of your evening, afternoon, mornings back. But I appreciate everybody coming through, showing